Emma Olivia was not crying when it happened, but her chest felt tight, like she had been holding her breath for years without noticing. Outside the living room window, a gray Seattle afternoon hung low and quiet, the kind that made time feel slower. The TV was on, but she wasn't watching. Her phone rested face down on the coffee table, unread messages buried under weeks of silence. Emma was 32, living alone again after a breakup that ended gently but left deep marks. Nothing dramatic, no shouting. Just to people realizing love had faded and walking away without answers. She had told everyone she was fine. She had even convinced herself. Then the living room door opened. Her brother Daniel walked in calmly, so calmly it felt strange. No rush, no phone in his hand, no noise, just steady footsteps and a quiet presence. Emma didn't look up at first. She assumed he needed something small. Daniel was always practical, always composed, always the one who had his life together. He stopped near the couch. "Emma," he said softly. She looked up, surprised by his tone. Hey. He didn't smile right away. He didn't joke. He didn't sit. He just stood there, hands in his hoodie pockets, studying her face like he already knew what she was feeling. "Can I ask you something?" he said, "something serious?" That alone made her heart skip. Daniel never announced seriousness. He just lived it. "Sure," she said, sitting up a little. "What's going on?" He moved slowly and sat across from her, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. The room felt different now, heavier but also warmer, like something important had entered with him. "I've been thinking about something for a long time," he said. "And I don't want to mess it up." Emma raised an eyebrow. "That sounds ominous." He let out a small breath. "I'm planning to propose to Claire." For a second, Emma forgot how tired she was. Her face lit up. "Daniel, are you serious?" He smiled, finally. A real one. Nervous but happy. "Yeah, I'm serious." She stood up without thinking and hugged him. "That's amazing." "It's going to cry, in a good way. I hope." "So," he said with a soft laugh. But when she pulled back, she noticed something else in his eyes. Hesitation, like that wasn't the whole reason he came in. "So," she said slowly, sitting back down, "that can't be all." He nodded. "It's not." Daniel leaned back, looking at the ceiling for a second, choosing his words carefully. "I want you to help me with it." Emma blinked. "Help you how?" "Everything," he said. "The planning, the timing, the words. I want it to feel real, not rehearsed." She smiled. "Daniel, you've always been good at real." "That's because you taught me," he said. That caught her off guard. "I did." "Yeah," he said. "You've always believed in love, even when it hurt you." Her smile faded slightly. She looked away. Daniel noticed. "Of course, he did. That's actually why I came," he said quietly. "Not just because I need help, but because I need you." Emma crossed her arms, not defensively, just to hold herself together. "You don't need me. You've got everything figured out." He shook his head. "No one ever really does." The rain outside grew louder, tapping against the window like a heartbeat. "I've watched you these past few months," Daniel continued. "You think no one notices, but I do. You've been shrinking, making yourself smaller." She swallowed. "I'm just tired." "I know," he said. "And I hate that you think you have to carry it alone." Emma laughed softly, but it broke halfway. "You didn't come here to make me emotional." "I did," he said honestly. "A little." She looked at him then, really looked at him, and saw the little boy who used to knock on her door at night after bad dreams. The teenager who defended her without asking. The man who now stood steady but still needed his sister. "What are you asking me, Daniel?" she said. He leaned forward again. "I'm asking you to help me take the biggest step of my life. And I'm asking you to not close your heart while you do it." The words landed slowly. She felt her chest tighten again, but this time it wasn't pain. It was something else. Something warm and unexpected. "Do you think planning a proposal is going to fix me?" She asked. "No," he said. "I think love reminds us who we are." Emma didn't answer right away. Her mind drifted to late nights alone, to the way her last relationship ended with a quiet goodbye and a promise to stay friends that never happened. She had stopped believing in grand moments, stopped believing in timing, stopped believing in herself just a little. "I don't know if I'm the right person," she said. "You are," Daniel said without hesitation, "'cause you feel deeply, and because you care, and because you're honest." She looked at her hands. "If I mess it up," he smiled, "then it'll still be real." Silence filled the room again, but this time it felt safe. Emma exhaled slowly. "Okay." Daniel's eyes lit up. "Okay, okay," she repeated. "I'll help you." He stood and pulled her into another hug, stronger this time. "Thank you." As he stepped back, Emma felt something shift. Inside her, a small crack in the wall she had built around herself. Daniel grabbed his keys and headed toward the door. "We'll start tomorrow," he said. "Coffee," she nodded. Coffee. After he left, Emma sat back down on the couch, staring at the empty doorway. The house felt quieter, but not lonely. For the first time in weeks, her phone buzzed, and she didn't ignore it. It was nothing important. But she picked it up anyway. She didn't know it yet, but that calm walk into the living room was the beginning of something bigger than a proposal. It was the moment her heart started waking. Up again? The night Emma Olivia realized her heart was changing. She was standing alone in a grocery store aisle, staring at candles she never planned to buy. Soft, white, warm, amber, light vanilla things she once loved but had quietly removed from her. Life after believing romance was no longer for her. She smiled at herself, almost embarrassed, then picked one up anyway. That was the moment she understood something important was happening. Helping Daniel plan the proposal moved faster than she expected. Days blended into motion. Morning coffee runs before work. Long walks by the water after sunset. Late-night calls where Daniel whispered ideas like he was afraid love itself might overhear and escape. Emma listened, suggested, refined, encouraged. She didn't notice at first how alive she felt doing it. The city felt different too. Seattle looked brighter, even under gray skies. Emma began noticing small things again: the sound of laughter in cafes, couples holding hands at crosswalks, music drifting out of open car windows. None of it hurt the way it once did. Instead, it reminded her that love still existed, even if she hadn't touched it in a while. One evening, she and Daniel sat on the porch of his apartment, wrapped in blankets, paper plants spread between them. The air was cold, but comfortable. "You've changed," Daniel said suddenly. Emma looked up. "What do you mean?" "You're lighter," he said. "You smile without forcing it now." She thought about it. "Maybe I stopped fighting the idea that things end." He nodded. "That's usually where healing starts." As the proposal details came together, Emma found herself spending more time around Claire too. Claire was gentle but confident, warm without trying. She asked Emma about her life without pity, listened without judgment. One afternoon, while trying out a restaurant Daniel had suggested, Claire reached across the table and squeezed Emma's hand. "I'm glad Daniel has you," Claire said. "Talks about you like you're his anchor." Emma swallowed the lump in her throat. "I think he's mine too." The proposal day arrived quietly, like all meaningful things do. No big announcement. No countdown. Just a clear sky after days of rain and a soft breeze rolling in from the water. The park Daniel chose overlooked the bay, peaceful and open, with string lights hung carefully between trees. Emma stood at a distance, heart racing, hands clasped tight. She watched Daniel take Claire's hands, saw the nerves in his smile, heard the sincerity in his voice even from afar. When Claire said yes, tears streaming down her face, Emma felt her own eyes burn. It wasn't jealousy, it wasn't sadness. It was hope. Later that night, after laughter and hugs and quiet celebration, Emma found herself walking alone under streetlights, letting the moment settle. Her phone buzzed. A message from someone she hadn't spoken to in months. She stared at it for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She didn't reply. Instead, she kept walking. The next few weeks were full of change. Daniel and Claire began planning their future. Emma focused on her own life again, but this time without fear. She joined a small community writing group. She said yes to invitations she used to decline. She let herself imagine things again. One afternoon at a bookstore cafe, she met someone named Noah. He wasn't dramatic. He wasn't overwhelming. He was kind, attentive, and asked thoughtful questions. They talked about books, family, mistakes, and the strange ways life brings people together when you least expect it. Emma didn't call it love. Not yet. But she didn't close the door either. Months later, on a quiet evening, much like the first, Daniel came into her living room again. Calm/steady. Familiar. "I just wanted to say thank you," he said. Emma smiled. "For what?" "For helping me believe," he said. "And for letting yourself believe too." She looked around the room. Candles lit. Music playing softly. Her phone face up this time. "I think," she said slowly, "love doesn't always arrive like a storm." Daniel nodded. "Sometimes it just walks in calmly." Emma smiled, her heart full, open, and ready. And this time, she didn't push the feeling away.